Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Cape Coral Waterfront podcast. Today in studio, I have a special guest, Rob Stowers from Sunset Pools. Rob, how you doing?
Doing good, thank you.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to come in and talk about pools.
Absolutely.
A lot of times when I'm out with clients and we're looking at homes, a pool is kind of a non-negotiable. They say it's got to have a pool. Sometimes it doesn't have a pool. Other times it has a pool, but the pool is not quite so impressive. And a lot of times, you know, it never crosses people's mind that they could just replace that pool.
That's correct. Yes. You can absolutely, have a demolition company come in and rip the existing pool out, basically putting everything back to a blank canvas for us to come in and, construct a new swimming pool.
Right. So waterfront, a lot of times, especially if people have big boats, their shopping criteria is based around the boat. So location is everything.
Right.
So if you find a house, if you're shopping for a secondhand home and it doesn't have a pool, you have options. And that's why I wanted to bring you in and talk about that, because Sunset Pools actually build some really nice stuff. And we can talk about the process and, maybe alleviate some fears of what it would be to actually, build a pool.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you guys, how long have you guys been in business?
This is our 20th year in business here in the Cape.
Okay, and if you look on Google and you look for reviews of pool companies, Sunset Pool says like the most positive reviews out of anybody.
Yeah, and we pride ourselves in that. I mean, we do take a lot of pride in, the work that we do, the products and materials that we provide to our customers, and just the overall service and quality of our product.
Right, and like you guys put pools on all the Pinnacle Homes, right?
We do. That's one of the builders that we work with, and customers have their choice of the standard pool packages that come with the builder Pinnacle, and if they choose to customize that, add some additional features and things like that, we're able to provide those services to those customers as well.
Right, and you guys only deal with new construction pools. You don't do any kind of renovations.
That's correct. Yep, we strictly stick with the new construction stuff.
Right, and if you go to the website, if you go to your website and you look at the pools, they look really high end. And we talked about that on the phone. You basically told me that it's more of a quality thing than a price thing. It's not that you only build pools for high end homes, but you do build high end pools from a quality perspective.
Yes, and some people take a look at the pools and they look high end and all that, but a lot of times they're not out of the price point that people think that they are. Just because something looks really nice doesn't necessarily mean it's a out of this world expensive pool. It has to do with the materials used on the pool, and there's a lot of nice stuff out there that is just really part of the standard package.
Right. Okay, and tell us the benefits of a new pool versus buying a house with a pool that's 20 years old.
Yeah, so when you get into those homes that are definitely that old, you never really know what type of problems you're going to inherit. It's the old saying of opening up a can of worms.
Right.
You may feel like you're getting a really good deal on that home with that existing pool, but at the end of the day, if you have to go through and do a lot of renovations to that, you can easily drop $20,000 or $30,000, into renovating that pool that may not be the exact pool that you're happy with.
Right, and it might only cost you, $20,000 more to have something like out of this world brand new.
Exactly, to where you can design it yourself, have it meet all of your family's needs, and as far as shape, size, design, and all of that, you can just create your own from scratch.
Right. So sometimes when people go there and they see, oh, there's no pool, and a lot of times when people ask me to formulate the criteria when they're shopping for a home, they're like, I don't even want to look at anything that doesn't have a pool. And so in the real estate world, and we talked about the difference between price and value, a lot of times people assign a value to a pool that is a lot higher than that pool is actually. It's, like people might say, oh, I'd pay $40,000 more for a house with a pool. You get there, it's like some fiberglass pool or a pool that has a painted finish. And, like appraisers and people will ascribe a lot more value to that pool than it actually has. Whereas in a lot of cases, they might be better off just to find a house with no pool. And, now if you find one that has a pool and you like it, great. But if it doesn't have a pool, it's not the end of the world because you can actually get a modern, updated pool.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, you can, just start from scratch, put that design together that's going to suit you and your family. Make a deck size that is going to fit your needs. Maybe you're looking for that extra entertaining space. Maybe you're looking to put in, an outdoor kitchen and things like that, to where at a existing pool home, those things may not be there. And now you're just kind of stuck and you can't really have that outdoor living environment that you're really wanting.
And that's in Florida. I mean, if you're coming from up north, you might not realize how much time you actually spend outside. But the outside portion of your house, especially in the winter months, is where you're going to live.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of people that live in Florida or move to Florida, they're looking to enjoy, the outdoors. They're looking to get away from having to be stuck in their house, locked in because of snow and, all those other conditions. So people come here to enjoy this outdoors and this sunny state that we live in.
Yeah, and if you look at new homes are designed around the outside living area as much as anything.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of these builders, they definitely do, put these homes together with the intentions of people being able to, put together that outdoor living space.
Right, and bring the outside in. And let's talk about the demo factor. I was shocked when we talked on the phone. How much does it cost to demo an old pool?
The prices do vary, obviously, depending on, the size of the area needing to be demoed. If they have big retaining walls and, just how extensive it is. But we do not do in-house demolition. We do refer people out to a couple different companies that can provide that service. An average cost for doing that, once again, depending on the size and the extensiveness of everything, you're looking probably somewhere in the $5,000 to $10,000 range to basically rip everything out and prep the area into a blank canvas again to work with.
And that seems like a pretty good deal if you really want that killer outside area.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and it's, at the end of the day, things just cost what they cost. But to drop $5,000 or so and be able to then put together your dream package, at the end of the day, it's not that bad.
Okay, so let's talk about the actual process of building a pool. Like when you go, because this is the thing that people are afraid of. They think it's going to, A, cost too much, B, take too much time. It seems like a hassle, but let's talk about the process. How does it actually work? When I decide I want to talk to you guys about a pool, how does that work?
Okay, so yes, our customers, they'll reach out to us, whether it's by phone, stopping in the office, going on our website, and filling out an inquiry. I am the sales manager of the company, so I will reach out to those customers and discuss with them a little bit over the phone as to what they're looking to do. And then generally I will schedule an in-home consultation with them where I'll go out and, assess the site there, take some pictures and measurements, and then sit down with that customer and discuss the project in its entirety, what they're looking to put in the backyard and, sizes, shapes, and everything like that.
Okay. And at that point, you said that you guys, that's where you establish kind of a budget.
Correct. Yes. Once they tell me what all is on their wish list, I have a pretty good idea as to what a ballpark cost is going to be for that project. And I'll let the customers, tell me where they're looking to be at. And once they throw me that number, it's all about being honest with each other. I'm trying to establish a trust factor with you, just as you're trying to establish one with me. So the more that you help me, the more I can help you. So they'll basically, throw me a number out of where they want to be, and I can generally assess the situation at that point and make any type of adjustments or suggestions, basically so I can provide them the most bang for their buck.
Right. And it's just because you say that 50,000 is your budget, and we talked about this too, some people will assume that, this is where Rob makes it cost 50 grand, or 60 or 70 or whatever. But that's really not how it works, right?
Right. Like I said, I'm just trying to kind of get a feel as to where you're looking to be, but still, pay attention to your wants and your needs. And then I'll, put together a design that, fits that. And we can all, at that point, we can then go back and take a look at, some types of changes and alterations that we need to make to still provide the most of what you're looking to have, but get it a little bit closer to your target budget range.
Right. And with your company, it's all geared around quality. I mean, it costs what it costs to build a pool.
That's right. It has to do with the products and the materials that you use. Everything has a cost to it, especially for its quality and also the warranties that come along with all those products.
Right. And what's your warranty on your pools?
There's multiple warranties. We do a 6-inch thick gunnite pool shell as our structural shell of the pool. And with that, we attach a lifetime warranty with that.
Okay.
Coating the inside of the pool, standard, we provide you with a lifetime warranty Pebble Finish.
It's a lifetime warranty.
Absolutely. Yes. And those two items right there are really the two most important items of a pool.
Right.
You don't want, or you don't want anything to happen to your shell, such as cracking, settling, water loss, and things like that. And should that ever happen, you at least have the peace of mind knowing, hey, this is a lifetime warranty. I'm covered.
Right.
And with the interior finish also having that lifetime warranty, you don't have to worry about what's called the resurface process that you may have to do with some of those other interior pool finishes.
Now that we talked about this too, when did the Pebble Finish kind of come out?
The actual, Pebble Finish has been around for quite a while. I would, estimate it to be, 15, 20 years old even. However, it was more common in some of the more high-end luxury pools, a lot of the pools, at maybe out in Vegas at the casinos and, California, places like that. And then also here, it was also used on a lot of the, higher-end pools. But over the years, there's been multiple manufacturers of the Pebble Finishes, and the majority of them, if not all of them, also do provide that lifetime warranty. And they've also become a lot more affordable to, your average customer. So now they can, also have that nice lifetime warranty pool finish.
Right. That's like when I started in this business in 2003, things like Granite Countertops were a sign of the high end.
Right.
Now they're everywhere.
Correct.
You go to a $100,000 condo, it's got Granite Countertops.
Correct. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to keep up with the times.
Right.
You have to be able to provide those high-end products at an affordable price for your customers.
Right. And time and technology does that to just about everything.
Correct.
So now the Pebble Finish is kind of the standard.
For the most part, it is, yes.
What was the old finish?
When pools first originated, the original finish was called Marsite. And that was just a plain white pool finish, just straight plaster. After Marsite, there was a product called a quartz finish. This was a little bit better finish, and it had different colored specks of color into it that helped, give the pool a little character. It had a little bit of effect on the overall water color, but at the end of the day, most manufacturers could only attach, some had a 5-year warranty, I believe there was a few out there that attached a 10-year warranty to it. But at the end of the day, it was a product that was going to have a lifespan to it. And, so many years down the road, depending upon, the maintenance, the chemicals used and all that, determined the overall lifespan of that product to where once that was, worn out, you would then have to resurface the pool.
Right. And Marsite is what you see if you go to Greece or somewhere where the pool's just painted.
Correct. Yeah, they'll install just that flat finish, and then they paint the inside of their pools.
You see it here too sometimes.
You do, but to my knowledge, I don't know any current pool contractors that do it that way.
No, you see it like in the yacht club in older homes.
Correct. That's correct in the older homes.
And I don't know if they painted over the quartz or if it was just Marsite to begin with.
I would guess that it was most likely just the straight on Marsite.
Okay. All right. So first thing you do is the design consultation, establish a budget. Once you guys go back and forth on that, then you establish a price.
Right. So one of the processes that I do in between that is I have a really good CAD computer program that I am actually able to take the measurements of the home that I have, taken while meeting with the customer. I can then draw the home on my CAD program. I can also then draw the pool deck, the pool, outdoor kitchen, everything like that. So my customer can then envision that completed project attached to their home. And it is a great visual tool to provide the customers.
Absolutely. I did CAD when I was in my old life in engineering. And, it's just seeing things in 3D is a lot easier than just a, plan view pencil sketch, like a top down.
Exactly. There are some people that can look at those 2D sketches and, get a pretty good idea. But like I said, the 3D visualization is really nice. And once I put that together for the customer, that's how we'll kind of go back and forth and get the design to where they're really happy with it. Maybe they'll like the first design I send them and we'll go ahead and take the next step. Or maybe they'll look things over and, want to make some tweaks to it. And we'll just do that. I'll tweak it for them. And basically once they're happy with that overall design, then I'm able to go ahead and put their pricing together and provide them with a very detailed and itemized proposal.
Okay. Yeah. And we talked about that too. That's actually super beneficial to have that itemized proposal.
Absolutely, it is. Because there's a lot that goes into a pool, a lot more than most people, know about and are educated about. You really want to know the specifics of the rebar being used in the pool to construct the shell. It's nice to know about the plumbing that's in the size pipes being used. And you really want to know all those specifics about items such as, size and square footage of your deck, size and square footage of your pool. And also, it's really important to know the specifics of all of the equipment being used on your pool.
After you're done with the CAD model, you present the CAD model to the customer, and then they can see the actual pool in 3D. What's the next step after that?
So like I said, then we'll go ahead and we'll put their itemized proposal together. So now they know where they're at. And if they decide they're ready to move forward with our company, I will then schedule a consultation with them inside our showroom to where we have all of our pavers, travertine, tiles, stone materials, interior finish. We actually have a display set up of all the equipment that we use, so people can, get a hands-on, eyes-on experience of everything that's going to be included with their pool package.
Yeah, that's awesome. Your showroom is on Vizcaya, right?
That's correct. Yep, we're located right here in Cape Coral, and we have a showroom located off of Vizcaya back in the industrial park.
Yeah, that's excellent. Okay, and then on to engineering?
Yep. So once the pool is sold and I put together a detailed construction print, we then send that off to our engineer where, he puts all the final specifications on everything and basically gets everything prepared for us to submit for a permit.
Okay, and then how long does permitting take?
So those times do vary, obviously, depending on
dealing with the government.
Yeah, and they've if they get an influx of permits for multiple things, not just swimming pools, that determines the time frame of that. Right now, at this current time, the city of Cape Coral is running about 3 weeks to get a permit. Over in Lee County, which is a separate entity, right now they're a little behind, and they're running 6 to 7 weeks to get us permits.
Okay. And so then after the permitting, then you get your dig date.
Correct. Yep. We'll monitor the progression of the permit because there's multiple stages that it has to go through. So we're constantly monitoring the progression of that permit to help us decide what would be a tentative dig date to put together so that we can provide that customer so that they can, get everything in order that they need to. Maybe they need to get their irrigation system capped off, take some trees out of the yard, get any type of patio furniture or grills or anything like that out of the construction area so that when we are ready to come in, everything's ready to go.
Okay, good. And then what is the from dig date until completion, what is the rough time frame on that?
So right now, from the time that we actually break ground to the completion of the project, we're running, 10 to 12 weeks. I tell my customers 10 to 12 weeks. And I put that time frame on it, as with a little safety cushion in there, because you never know what you're going to run into. I mean, the weather could put delays on things. Guys being a little behind and needing to play catch up could delay things. But when I say delay things, I don't want to scare people and make them think that, we're going to push you out a month or 2 months or something like that. We're talking a day or two to get back on track.
Right. And you guys utilize private inspectors?
We do. We put out a little more money to utilize that service, but it helps us manage our construction schedule and the multiple inspections that have to take place during construction. So we know that when we're ready to have an inspection take place, we can go ahead and we can call that in because we know that particular scope of work has been completed, and we can get the inspector out there right away, get that taken care of, and work on scheduling the next step in the building process.
Right. Rather than like you finish the process and then you call and say, hey, I need an inspection, and then it's a week.
Right, because you never know,
know
how backed out or backed up those inspectors are. And, if they can't give you an exact date as to when they're going to come out, you just kind of have to wait for them to show up and do their thing. And because of that, you're unable to really put a lockdown date on moving forward to that next stage in the project.
And so all your pools are done with salt systems, right?
I won't say all of them. That is a customer-based decision on if that's an item that they wish to add on to their pool. I do highly recommend salt systems. I feel they're very beneficial to the longevity of the pool, the equipment, and from a maintenance side of things, it really takes a lot of the guesswork out and a lot of the chemical usage out of the pool.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, because we always have salt pools, because my wife says that her hair, her bathing suits don't get dragged out.
Correct.
And that type of stuff. We have a little dog who's basically like a little baby. So like the salt system is friendlier for that. But you said that it's also beneficial for the longevity of the surfaces of the pool and the equipment.
Right. Now, as I said, we do provide the lifetime warranty Pebble Finish. But at the end of the day, you hope to never have to utilize, that warranty service
right.
as a customer. You don't want your pool to be, out of commission while repairs are being done. You want to be able to enjoy that pool. So it's, using that salt system, like I said, you're not using as many harsh chemicals, which could potentially, damage that surface. You don't have those harsh chemicals circulating through, your pool equipment, specifically your pool pump, which has different, metal components inside of it that can be worn because of all those harsh chemicals going through it. And then also taking a step back to your comment on the health and safety perspectives on everything, you're absolutely correct that, with females or males for that matter, you don't have to worry about your hair coloring, bathing suits being bleached out. A lot of people, and this is a big thing, in a standard chlorinated pool, you go underwater and swim with your eyes open, you get that burning sensation and
Right.
those red eyes. With the salt system, you eliminate that. Also, you have the people whose skin is sensitive to some of those contaminants in that standard chlorine. They may get, itchy skin, red, irritated skin. Once again, with the salt system, you eliminate that as well.
Okay. And yeah, the salt system is just the best.
It is. Like I said, I always recommend it to, every single one of my customers. I'm not the salesman that goes in trying to sell you every little item in the catalog. I try to teach and educate and recommend the items that I feel are most beneficial to that customer.
Yeah, and if you maintain your pool yourself, doing it with the salt system is a lot easier. And if you have a pool guy, he'll appreciate it too because it's a lot easier.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Speaking of taking care of the pool, tell us about the process after the pool is built. You guys have somebody that manages the pool for a specific period of time.
Yes. So after the completion of the pool and the plaster finish has been installed, we immediately drop a hose in and fill the pool with water. With our company, we provide 30 days of a maintenance service after that pool is filled with water, which is also what is called the startup process. So with that Pebble Finish that we install, it's very important at this point to perform the startup process correctly to ensure the customer is going to receive the best quality out of that pool finish, and so that it sets up and cures correctly the way that it needs to.
Right, because the concrete, after it's poured, it's not concrete, you said it's gunnite.
Correct.
And just like we talked about this before, because I'm an engineering nerd, like gunnite is actually a powder that's blown through and the water is added at the nozzle?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a dry mixture that is pumped on there, mixed with the water at the nozzle, installed into the pool, and then the guys come in with their trowels and they get everything smoothed out and form that pool shell up.
Yeah, and the other option is like where they pre-mix the concrete and come in and put the concrete in after it's already pre-mixed, but because of dry time and work time, the gunnite's actually superior, correct?
Yes, with the other product, that's called shockcrete. So shockcrete is pre-mixed at a facility, loaded into a truck, and the truck comes out and it's pumped directly into the pool hole, and then troweled out the same way the gunnite is. However, shockcrete has a lot of rocks and stuff in it, so one of the reasons that we prefer the gunnite is, as it's being troweled out, it leaves us with a much smoother surface, which is beneficial down the road when you're installing that pebble interior finish.
Right. Yeah, this is all stuff that you don't think about. And when I talk to you on the phone, every guest that I have on, I always learn a bunch of stuff. And I'm sure the people watching also, you just don't know this stuff, and it's like, it's good to meet somebody who knows because when I talk to you on the phone, I can just tell, like, we talk for a long time. You know what you're talking about. And it's just good to get this stuff out there so people can understand.
Yeah, there's a whole lot that goes on behind the scenes.
I'm sure
that people they don't know about, they don't see it. So a lot of these details are very important and important for the customer to know, so that they know the entire scope of work and all the services being performed.
Right. So things like, to me, it just seems, after talking to Rob, I would almost rather have a new pool. Like I would almost rather buy a house without a pool and build one, just because you get all the new things like a sun shelf, like a modern design, like some planters and potentially fountains. And realistically, like the value that is ascribed to a secondhand pool when you buy a house, you know, because a lot of people think that a house with a pool is worth the amount more that a pool costs, you know, like the value of a new pool. And realistically, when you get a new pool, you get a new pool. You have new hardware, you have new, you know, the plumbing. I can't even tell you how many times just this year we've had issues where there are leaks, and leaks are really hard to detect for buyers. They're really easy to conceal for sellers.
Correct.
Because when the home inspector comes out to do the inspection, they're not going to sit there for 3 days and see if the pool went down. So they just fill it up before the inspection. We go to closing, and then, you know, like 4 weeks later, like, geez, it's not even hot out, and I'm adding water. And then it's a leak. And if it's a skimmer, it could be $2,500 to dig the deck out and just replace the hardware. And then you're left with this mess that has to be reconfigured. You know, if you're thinking about, if you have to have a pool and a house doesn't have a pool, I think that's the house you go, because then you get 50% of your living area, which is outside, is this new modern, everybody modernizes their kitchen, puts in granite if it doesn't have it, wood plank tile, all the wispy, you know, sand-colored granite countertops. Everybody wants all that new stuff. If you put a brand new pool on that house too, it's just going to make it that much more of a new house. Absolutely,
yeah. And you know, going back to it, then you're not, you know, inheriting other people's problems and headaches, which in turn are going to cost you, you know, up to, you know, a substantial amount of money possibly.
Right.
And then also at the end of the day, it may not be exactly what you're looking for. And the other, you know, major thing with that is when purchasing a home with an existing pool, you're not receiving any of those major warranties that are attached with a new pool build.
Right. Right. And anything that is deficit that wasn't concealed or not disclosed by the previous homeowner is on you.
That's right.
All right. So, Rob, if people decide that a new pool is, you know, something that they're interested in, even if they just want to like talk about it, because, you know, it never hurts to talk, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
You're welcome to visit our website, which is www.sunsetpools.com. Or you can reach out by phone to our office, which is 239-772-POOL.
Okay, cool. 239-772-POOL or sunsetpools.com.
Yes, sir.
All right. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll have that, you know, displayed and in the description. If you're listening to this on the podcast networks, I'll include it in the show notes. So if you want to get an idea of what a new pool, you know, would cost, or just get ideas, then get a hold of Rob and, you know, make that outside living space like exactly what you want.
Yep. Let me bring it to life for you.
All right. Perfect. Well, hey, thank you very much for taking the time to
Absolutely.
come in. I learned a lot, and I hope that everybody watching and listening did as well. And, yeah, thanks a lot.
Anytime.